Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? This is Intergalactic Interviews, and this is episode 140. How you doing, folks? Is your head caving in like mine right now? You won't even notice because it's all my own pain. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? I hope you're having a fantastic week. I had a great week. I don't remember most of the weekend, but that's just how life goes.
Could explain the migraine there.
You make terrible decisions. Yeah. No, apparently I was blessed with no hangovers ever, and I'm really appreciative of that. Yeah, and but around the age of C-Mart lies all the fucking time. So the actual data though is that when I turned 28, I felt like the universe was just like, wait a minute, have we not been giving this guy hangovers all these years? Give them all to him at once.
Let's double it up.
Yeah. And then so then I had like 6 days of searing eye pain. But nonetheless, let's dive into this. Ladies and gentlemen, our guests today are fantastic, talented, and co-hosts of one of my new favorite podcasts out there. It's a podcast dealing with some stuff that is pretty relevant with everyone out there. If you're the kind of people that love reactions, we have reactions for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to my man, Dale and Derek. And
hi, guys.
Outrage Factory.
How's it going?
Yep. Hello, Internet.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm beginning to really hate the way I intro people on the show.
I love it.
I'm pumped.
I always think about it all the way leading up to the episode, and then I do it, and I'm just like, that's not how I
No, you did
Can we
good.
reshoot this?
Yeah. I feel good about myself now.
Do you?
Yeah.
You are amazing and talented.
I was self-conscious about the camera because I didn't want people to know what I look to attribute a face to the opinion.
Because you have such a sexy voice.
Could, they're like, I bet that guy's so hot in real life, and now they're like, oh. Nice.
So you were hoping for more mystery, less history. You wanted, I see. Yeah, it's okay. I think you're a sharp-looking fella. You know,
thank you.
Nothing to worry about.
I brought out the dad polo.
Nice.
Just for this special occasion.
Do you have speaking of that sexy voice? Do you have a background in any kind of broadcasting?
Actually, I went to journalism school, and
it was for print journalism.
I was for print journalism, and I did a little bit of the college radio until I got removed for breaking too many rules. That's true. Now, not in a cool way.
Not in a cool way.
Just being like, oh, I'm a 23-year-old idiot. I don't want to go do my show. And then I wouldn't.
Oh, so you just ghosted.
Yeah.
That's the rule you broke.
I ghosted once, and apparently you're not allowed to just do that.
Like 3 hours of silence. Most popular show they ever had.
And then I had a guest who was uncleared.
What is that? Oh, they weren't vetted.
It means I didn't vet him, I guess.
Didn't vet them, yeah.
But it's dumb because he had his own show.
Oh.
So I just...
Seeing some parallels. You didn't vet us at all.
Yeah, not at all.
You should have vetted us.
I was thinking cross-pollination. I was like, let's get these guys on the show.
These guys have a podcast.
Boom.
They have fans that I want.
That's right.
You can have
them. Those are lucrative.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally number in the dozens.
We're trying to get that Williams Lake money, son.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. That being said, though, Outrage Factory is a fantastic podcast. I love it. I'm really a big fan. I've been trying to say for years, I think, I've known Derek much longer than I've known you, Dale, obviously. But at the same time, I would have to say, if he co-signs you, and everything I've heard from you on the show, I get to experience your thoughts and your ideas. I think you guys are a great dynamic.
Oh, thanks.
I really enjoy it. I also really have to say that because I've been encouraging this show for many, what I feel like is years, but at the same time, to see it come into fruition and grow and do so well, and like I see you guys have engagement, like great engagement online. It's really good. It's not just like getting views and stuff like that, but like getting people to like actually engage with you that's the key. That's the ticket. Yeah. That's amazing. People can enjoy it, but if they're not engaging with you, there's
what's the point?
There's a limit to that.
Well, it's funny. So it was my last appearance on Intergalactic Interviews that actually...
That was a while back, right?
That was almost exactly a year ago to the day, I think. Like a year and a week.
A year ago to the day?
And I was like, yeah, like for real. I got that Facebook reminder, like, this is what happened a year ago. And I'm like, oh shit, that thing happened.
What was our clip? What was our... we do a clip every week of the thing. Do you remember what the material is?
Pokemon Go. This was right as Pokemon Go had dropped.
Oh, right.
And
you had the
cultural
hot
phenomenon. Yeah, I had like hacked my phone to download a guy. We talked about Pokemon Go for 40 minutes, and I came out of that being like, funny. Podcasting is awesome.
Yeah.
And after that, we had been talking about it for a while and decided to kick it off. It took us a few months to get our shit together. But
thank God our podcast has lasted longer than Pokemon Go did.
Absolutely.
There you go. Sign of a true success.
I'm pretty sure that's still kicking around, though.
We were throwing around crazy numbers in that clip, if I recall correctly, now that we're talking about it.
Well, yeah, you look back and like it was like the fastest growing app of all time. And then you were just talking about social media, like taking a nosedive off a cliff. And
certain music sharing sites.
Yeah, that was certain that shall remain unnamed because we might still use them.
Possibly, Well, plus we want to push people a certain direction.
At least until they die.
So that we don't have to find another place to put our stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
But and I think that hung around for like another like month. People were playing Pokemon Go, and then just evaporated.
I saw mobs of people playing it on Canada Day.
What, like this recently?
Yeah, like just recently. Like like there was a number of people, and I could hear them talking about it. I don't know enough about the culture to know it. Yeah.
Well, I actually got back in after they did the update and added the new Pokemon because they would do weekends where they're like, get on Pokemon Go. There's rock Pokemon everywhere, and you're like, oh sweet. And then I just got bored, and I was like, ah.
What about the? So explain this really quick for our listeners, and especially me because I don't really know that well. But they would assign like virtual locations to real locations, right?
Yeah, like you actually had to like walk and be in like the geosphere of this location to like be able to fight battles.
Like geotagging,
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the one that was actually assigned to like a Hell's Angels?
Yeah, there was actually
remember that one?
People showing up. Yeah, that was. And that might have like led to the demise. They were like, "Wow, we put some of these things in really dumb spots."
Yeah,
what the
like graveyards.
There
was a graveyard that had like 20 Pokemon stops in it, and I'll admit it, I drove around the graveyard getting Pokemon stops.
Yeah, whatever.
Just casual mischief.
Yeah, and then they added, you could get rid of Pokemon stops if you don't like them, and then the graveyard was wiped clean, and I was like, well, I guess it's good I don't have a reason to go to a graveyard.
Don't have to disrespect the dead anymore.
Right.
That's always a plus.
That's true. I won't have any ghosts haunting me anymore.
I think anything that follows you home. Do you guys like? First of all, do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know. I thought I saw a ghost last night, and I got goosebumps, and I was pretty scared. And then it was.
Hold on, just last night?
Just last night. It's funny.
Hold on, what the fuck? Okay. So for people at home, sometimes podcasts, people that make them will set up things like, hey, make sure you ask me about this, whatever.
Yeah.
This is absolutely not one of those cases.
No.
You didn't fucking say like, hey, ask me about the ghost.
Oh my God. I wish my story was better. So what happened was...
What the fuck? How does this just happen? Okay,
I don't know. So my bedroom there's a door and then like 10 feet of hallway, then the computer room. And the computer room has like lights flashing and shit because I don't turn everything off because I'm lazy. But I opened my door to go to the bathroom, and then it looked like a shadow went in front of the lights.
Shadow person.
And
Sandra?
And it was like super dark. And then I was like, holy shit. And I slammed the door and I flicked on the light. My girlfriend's like, what's going on? And I was like, I saw a ghost. And she's like, what? Whoa. And then 20 minutes later, when I was brave enough to check it out.
Yeah, I could see the fucking fear in your eyes.
That whole story existed just so he could drop that he has a girlfriend
that lives with me.
That was the whole. He's like,
sorry, ladies,
that I have a girlfriend.
But the best part is when I turned all the lights on and I looked, it was that I had moved a shelf. And so when I moved my head a bit, it went in front of the computer lights and then back.
So hold on, this is not a ghost story.
You found the solution.
Wait,
to it?
You
normally it's unexplained.
Ghost
story?
You debunked
a magician
it.
Never reveals their tricks. Man.
I had to sleep, so I was like, even if I get murdered tonight, it wasn't a ghost.
I do not believe in ghosts.
You don't believe in ghosts? I didn't believe in ghosts.
Didn't. Oh, here we fucking go.
Can we get? Oh, we should get some creepy music.
I can cue some up here. I'll score us up something really nice here.
Some Vincent.
These are the way the best stories start, by the way. I didn't believe in ghosts until
I didn't believe in blank until
I'm full in.
Yeah, just
full in.
Yeah, like when you get to the stage
New
where
drinking
like
game.
you're like, oh yeah, drinking games for this. Like when you get to the stage though, when you're like, I used to be this and now I'm this. Like we've talked about this, I feel like a million times, but we've had a legit flat earthers.
Okay.
Oh, shut up!
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, and it's a very interesting conversation because you're talking to people that are betting their whole everything on it.
Oh, that's such a bad gamble.
Well,
yeah, it's
so easy to disprove.
I gotta tell you, the reaction.
You would think that.
The reaction online was like so crazy. Like you have people that because I didn't dive in wholeheartedly with them, they were just like, you're a spherical cunt.
Oh, you're a rounder.
Yeah, you're a
fucking
round
mainstream media,
Yeah.
fake news bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, okay, I'm just trying to provide a critical thinking medium.
You mean a platform? For their shitty views.
Yeah, and
There is a part of me that would be like, you know, it would be fun to just troll the world and say it's flat and just pretend I believe that.
Well, this guy in particular, Kyle McDonald, he's very, very brilliant. He is the guy who did the red paper clip, traded it all the way for our house. You know
That guy believes in a flat
No,
earth?
Yes.
That guy actually has some.
He's a brilliant guy, and he is like we're talking
really
to a guy
smart.
who's
he's super smart.
he's done TED Talks. He's a brilliant guy, and I noticed over the course of the last year that he had just been slowly, like ever so slowly, posting stuff about being a flat earther.
Yeah.
For context, people that listen to the show already know, but like for extra context, he is the kind of guy that does these social experiments all the time where he, like at one point, he bought out an entire mom and pop shop in New York, like some bodega in Brooklyn or something. Bought the whole place out for like 30 grand or something like that. And then took the receipt on one big long receipt of all the itemized items.
Yeah, he bought them out of all of their things.
Yeah, like
with
bought out the store.
Yeah.
Not just the inventory. He doesn't want anything else. And then he took that receipt and then that was auctioned off in an art, like a modern art thing, because it's like here's a sign of capitalism, buying out a store. And that kind of thinking, and it gets people, to the point. Plus, he's also the guy who was smart enough to trade a red paper clip all the way up to a house.
He's he's a decent, I wouldn't even call it almost performance art kind
almost,
of.
But he's very eccentric in that. I mean, just those examples alone I gave you should probably give it enough to you. But like the idea that he like really believes is like a true thing. Like this guy, we're talking about vetting people earlier.
Yeah.
This is how I've been telling people about him is like I'm like, you don't get to do like TED Talks and the level of media unless they're exploiting you for your stupidity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's not in that category. He's not like being exploited for his like wild and crazy views. He's being they want him because he's an interesting personality, that kind of thing. So to hear him like legitimately believe in flat Earth, it was very eye opening because like, I mean, I do not believe in that, but I like the critical process he had brought to coming to this reasoning. He was like, well, I just don't believe anything anyone gives me at all. He's like, I'm just very inquisitive, and he's like, I believe all this. And at one point I was like, dude, you gotta be it. Like, you have to be. This is a joke, right? Like I think every 10 minutes on the show I was like, this is okay, tell me right now, is this like going to be revealed in like a couple of years? And he's like, I'm telling you, it's not. So I called it if it actually happened.
Yeah. That's his whole I don't believe in anything anybody gives me. That reminds me of when I was like 8. I was just like, what if
when I was a flat earther?
What if everybody on the planet, or what if everybody around me was a robot except for me, and I have no way to prove they're not?
That's true. You'd have to start cutting people.
That's
right. Like, I'm not going
to took a dark turn.
I'm not going to just accept that they tell me they're not robots.
Neither of our podcasts advocates for cutting into people to discover if they're robots.
I'm 99% sure you guys aren't robots, so I'm not going to cut you.
Honey, would you come here for a sec? Just got to make sure you're pro-human. Like, are you on our agenda? Let's get on message. Yeah, that kind of thing. Let me ask C-Mart here. Hey, were you just looking some stuff up there? Were you going to check out?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I just, looking around.
That's it.
Nice.
All right.
Checking your
We're
emails.
gonna drop some flat Earth facts on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
No, I thought we were going with this flat Earth thing. Still, I still think I don't believe. Just to kind of clear the air here, because I feel like I really didn't get along with Kyle McDonald on the thing.
You were very
But-
quiet during the whole show.
However, I think his message, his goal, is to ask you to ask questions. He's not saying, like, he's falling on the sword and saying, I'm going to tell you that I believe in flat Earth.
That's right.
So that you can go, well, if this fucking guy does
what I
that,
mean. Yeah.
maybe you should question, like, basic shit in your life that maybe is worthy of
my
scrutiny.
My favorite thing he was doing recently was, and I saw this as early as last week. His stuff's all private, so I don't think we could just throw it up on random profiles on whatever to watch.
I think it's
but
too late to keep it private.
No.
after we've
I
been
just mean
talking
like
about it.
his
like
his
you can't
post. Yeah,
go look at it.
You'd have to like request. That's another thing too. Because you gotta imagine the amount of shit that people probably throw him. Right.
Well, I've gotten in some full disclosure, I've gotten in some sparring matches with him on Twitter before.
Wait,
Really?
Derek
Yeah.
fighting with someone on
I
Twitter?
know, weird that I would argue with someone on
I'm
the internet.
so shocked.
I can't recall what it was about. Clearly, super important, defining moment in my life.
We're talking about social media presence.
Yeah.
Derek Bolin, ladies and gentlemen.
So what I actually had to do, like, I went through the lengths of deleting the Facebook app and Twitter app from my phone because it got to the point where I was just like,
wow,
going online
really?
and like I'm that bad. Like, I would actively seek out these arguments to have with people over.
Sounds like my nightmare.
The dumbest shit. Yeah, it was awful. And it would be like, putting my family on hold to be like, I gotta argue with this rando about fucking flat Earth for 2 hours.
It's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend in election cycles to... Okay. 2 election cycles ago, I was part of that whole, if you don't believe in me, I delete you thing. The last 2, though, that I've gone... I'm both Canadian and American. I have completely switched. Now I'm like... Oh my God! If you agree with me, I'm not even interested. I don't even give a fuck. I want to talk to people I don't agree with. I love. It's not the conflict I love. It's the
conflict.
It's it's the means to the resolution. It's the conflict. Yeah.
Well, the best thing is that you get 2 people with opposing views now, and they have a talk and they express their viewpoints, and they can both walk away from it. No one's necessarily changed their mind, but you had a civil conversation.
Yeah,
and
that's what the whole episode with Kyle was. That was my main goal, and that's what we had. Because at the end of it, you can watch that. Someone. There was my favorite comment that came out of all that stuff was someone commented on YouTube, I believe. They were like, this is how you interview a flat earther. Shills take notice. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
That was like, that's exactly
that I wrote that.
that was my sock puppet account.
I knew it was like C. Martin 17 or something. Yeah,
It doesn't mean you have to take the feather out of your cap.
That's right. That's right.
Still a comment.
Tossing feathers in caps. I said that last week to you, big idiot. I'm going to toss a feather in your cap.
Oh, that's probably where
Like
I
a
got
dart
it.
board?
I like that.
Okay.
I like the feather.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a dartboard, like a quill. Let's see here. Would you look something up for me right now, brother? Do you got some? What's this?
Yeah, so I have some. I just wanted to get it all ready.
Okay, sure. Is it all ready to rock? Like boom, boom, boom?
Yeah.
Okay, boys, we've never really fucked with this. Well, we've done a bit of this. We had some reactions to some live 21 versus 21 medieval fighting before, and that was pretty cool. Was that with Quasey? Who did we do? Or Alex Sparling?
I feel like we
real
funny,
fighting or just?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They're fully armored.
Yeah,
they're fully
yeah,
armored.
like competitive medieval
This is
fighting.
like-
Is that like in Russia where they wear armor and they fight in like?
It's all over Europe, but yeah,
Yeah.
Russia's really fucking good at it, and
What's,
and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine are insane at this.
What do you got for me today, C-Mart? What's
Well,
going on over here?
You.
Oh yeah, so
you wanted to bring this
did you
up.
guys see this? So is this? Can our viewers see this right now on
Oh,
the screen?
sorry, I should.
Sorry, switch that over real quick. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, into the nether sphere.
There you go.
Nice.
So they could see this now?
Yeah.
So let me just read this. Star Wars Hotel where visitors are plunged into immersive adventure to be opened by Disney. What the fuck? Have you guys heard about this yet?
No, I have
Is
not.
Michael Douglas in this called The Game?
Please let me read this. Please let me read this to you. Star Wars fans will soon be able to play their part in an interactive adventure inspired by the film franchise, as a new Star Wars-inspired resort has been confirmed by head honchos at Disney. The hotel will be part of Disney's new 360 vacation concept. The brand wants to create immersive experiences that allow guests to be part of their favorite stories.
Holy shit.
I want to bring this up because A, that's fucking crazy, but B, how Westworld is this?
Dude, yeah, I was just gonna
That's
say,
amazing,
this is
yeah.
extremely Westworld.
It's fucking happening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty rad.
Westworld for real.
Can you fuck an alien?
You can
Is
definitely.
are they gonna allow
You can
that?
definitely fuck.
Have you guys watched the original
Twi'lek?
Westworld?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I watched that really,
The movie,
relatively
right?
recently.
Yul Brynner?
honestly.
I haven't.
That's a
Fucking
weird one. Did you watch
badass.
Future World?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not
Also, that one's even.
That was
Crazy.
way weirder.
Are you
Yeah.
still watching the screen? So people
Oh,
can
yeah,
still
yeah,
see the screen?
no, it's
okay,
still-
just let's let this rock.
got
Look at
fly
this.
through.
Look how cool that
Oh,
looks.
nice.
I mean, it's called Star Wars Galaxies, guys. They made it as
So
a
it's gonna
video
be like
game.
Mos Eisley? Is that what I'm looking at? Like it basically looks like
know.
Docking Bay '94.
I mean, have you ever been to like living archaeology kind of places, like
What's that?
where they act out, like in Thunder Bay, Ontario, for example, they have like an old colonial fort
Oh yeah.
set up, and
No,
they have like student actors and
I
stuff
do
like
know
that.
about that,
Or
yeah.
not student. I mean, sure, they're people that act out like kind of life
Yeah.
Mm.
in the thing, and there's storylines going on, and it's pretty cool.
Listen to this.
That's a big thing in the States.
Galaxy's
Like-
Edge, which is the name of the park, will be 14 acres. Disney's park's largest single themed expansion. What the fuck? 14
crazy.
acres.
It's gonna be immersive. So this isn't somewhere where you like take your shitty kids and stand in line.
No, this
for
is
a
like,
ride. This is
you can bang a Twi'lek.
you are.
Twilight, I think.
Is it Twilight or
I think
Twi'lek?
it's Twilight.
Is there going to be
My-
that guy in the
my nerd is
cantina
showing.
who's like, I don't like you? And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
That guy looks scary.
What's that guy's name who's like Jabba's interpreter? The not C3PO.
Oh, I can't
the
remember.
previous interpreter that he's like Jabba no Gelo, like that. You know that guy. Whatever the fuck that guy is. He looks like he's a bit of a party animal. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
I'm pretty sure Jabba's entire palace was a party palace.
Oh my god.
That's the whole point.
You're gonna be able to smoke weed with a rancor or something like that.
The Rancors are not
Nice.
super like into that, I think.
They're not
Into
potheads.
weed?
I think
I don't know,
they
That's because you've never
If
seen.
they
Rancors
could-
probably roll on Molly more.
Yeah,
than
sure.
smoke weed.
You've never seen a rancor
They
on
just
party
wanna
drugs,
touch you.
bro. They're just rolling.
Ah, give me a hug, Rancor.
Yeah. Roar. Falls down.
How many guys are gonna just like sell everything they own and fucking move to this park and be like, I live here now?
That's
Like,
the
this
real
is my
question,
life.
though.
Wow.
What's the real question, though? Is like, when do you want to go to that, though? Do you want to go right at the opening?
No.
No, right?
I want to go
But
when
wait,
it,
those
yeah.
Twi'lek models, though, will be clean.
After
as
that, yeah.
Okay.
But you want to wait until they've like.
Yeah, once it dies down a bit,
Yeah.
the
Re-
Twi'lek
remove
models
the
get a little.
murderous,
No,
more
did you
flavor.
ever read-
Surges of the robots.
Did you ever read that article about the guy that plays Jack Sparrow at like Disneyland?
Like,
Oh, yeah.
what fake...
Yeah, like he plays like him as like the park version of Jack Sparrow.
Like how he can't wash the smell of women off of him.
Well, no, he's just like obviously he's so
So he's
popular.
like fake Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's just so he's like one of the most popular
course.
attractions,
Of
of course,
course he is.
with women,
Yeah.
etc.
Oh my
And he's
God.
just like just the tales that he.
Could you... Okay, first of all, do you know how fucking famous and hot you have to be that you can just act like another person? and
Wow.
be-
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
to get that
Sure,
level of
yeah.
attention.
Dude, what the fuck? Do you know how hot you have to be? Like...
Yeah.
I like that he was hooking up with
He's-
Ariel too, by
Yeah.
the way.
Nice.
Exactly. And I was like, oh,
Where's
Hold on.
that
In real
sex
life?
tape?
The Ariel cosplayer?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
There's got to be a movie.
I
coming out
have
of
to
that.
go.
Okay, wait.
I have to go on the internet for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Totally unrelated. I got some questions though. How many? Because they call them cast members, right?
Yeah, I
When
think
you're-
something like
when-
that.
Yeah, like when you're.
And
part
they're
of-
really strict rules, apparently. Like,
Yeah, well, fraternization. I was just gonna say, how many times is like Baloo the bear bang the fuck out of like, you know?
not in costume though.
Apparently, Mickey Mouse. Now this is coming from
Allegedly.
my-
Allegedly.
because the mouse has lawyers.
Fucking love these two.
Maybe
Big
we
time.
call him something else
Nah,
for
maybe-
the purpose of this.
I mean, if you're
Let's just switch
that
the
big.
first and last.
Yeah.
letter.
No, it's
that
dead
one-
mouse.
that
No,
works.
dead
Yeah.
mouse.
If you're the main guy, I bet he can get away with some shit.
Well, here's what I'm thinking is because Elizabeth, my fiance, Liz tells me that Mickey Mouse is often played by a female because of the height, because Mickey has to be a certain height.
And the,
so you get a
and
weird,
the high
you
voice?
get a weird.
Well, they don't talk in
They
them.
don't talk.
In the fully costume ones, they don't talk. I don't
they
think.
also do. This is really crazy. I don't know if you know this, but all of the performers, the cast members, they call them, all of the cast members have to learn the signatures of their counterparts.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. So like if you're, I don't know.
So professional forgeries. That's good.
Yeah.
If I need some documents. I know
Right,
I'm
but
going
like,
to.
but think about the experience they're crafting there is that
Yeah.
they want you to be able to bring a daughter there.
You
and-
are that character.
Right, and so they get Elsa's signature as
Yeah.
daughter, and then that daughter brings their daughter and your granddaughter, so to speak, and then they have
Same signature.
Yeah, it's like we have the same experience.
That's
Oh, wow.
pretty
It's fucking
impressive
really-
attention
yeah.
to
It's
detail.
so
Yeah,
like-
and that's what the thing that matters is the details like that. That's what makes it honestly magical for like when you're a child
true,
though. Like
it's
when you're
true,
like.
yeah.
Like you're like, holy fuck! What, I met that person? Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
not really, but
Yeah.
you're like,
Also-
hold on, though.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
weirdly accurate.
the audio in Disneyland is apparently the greatest audio setup of all time because
Oh, it'd have to
nowhere in the park are
Mm-hmm.
you able to be like
Can you escape the
yeah there's
sound?
there's no
Like,
dead
just-
zone, so to speak. It's
Oh, wow.
perfectly calibrated.
Yeah.
I think if you had what do they call them, Imagineers or whatever, is that what they are?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you had the Imagineers work for Elon Musk for like a year, just give them a year.
Yeah.
We could have that solar factory.
No, I mean
I'm
like
telling you right now.
The,
There's
the
the-
Hyperloop would be complete.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing, though, that,
to
like-
fucking Toronto.
if you think about it though, just like when people like think about people who work in video games, it must be so crazy, like or in movies or in whatever, and you're like, no, those are just average motherfuckers, just
That's
like
true, yeah,
just
right?
like
Yeah.
they're on a crazy project, and they are in Disney's case, not to sell them short, like super talented people, but like,
I guess what you're saying is like because you're surrounded by greatness all the time. Greatness is normal for you, so you think
okay, no,
normal is. Cool.
I heard that as
No.
well.
Is that's what
no,
it
I
is.
just mean that like they're obviously badasses.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
especially okay.
course,
So when I
yeah.
was 15, like one of the first jobs I ever had was dressing up in this mascot outfit for.
What are you talking about?
for,
What? When did this happen?
I was 15 years old. My dad was the marketing manager for a bank, and the bank's mascot was the fat cat. And
my God.
goody.
so there's
Tell me about
there's-
this immediately.
You go on
Yeah.
Facebook. There's pictures of me in this like huge.
Where's
like,
that
fucking
sex tape?
styrofoam cat suit. You're gonna live it, big guy. Never get the
Forthcoming.
stains out.
You still have the head, right?
But yeah, and it was conclusively the shittiest job I've ever had because you're like walking around
Burning
Yeah.
up
40
in there.
pounds of suit and
Wow.
these like shitty little kids are yanking on your tail
Dude.
and
And the smell.
climbing all over you.
You're not
Yeah,
like-
it didn't like I did
That's
some
awful.
It's like
Other
wearing a
dudes have
unspeakable things
sweat in that suit.
So I have like mad respect for like people at Disneyland who like
Yeah.
do that shit and then on top of it they have to like perfect their
Yeah.
signature.
Apparently, there's like handlers that are like sweat patrollers essentially. So like you get like
There's a lot of infrastructure.
yeah like 17 minutes in the suit, and then you have to have a mandatory go the fuck to the back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I wonder how many people passed out
Dude.
before that became mandatory.
Right?
Like,
That's
Mickey-
part of the vision.
Yeah.
I watched Mickey Mouse fucking fall.
Yeah, your beloved
over it.
mouse
Like,
hero
Yeah.
just like laid out and puking on
I
himself.
was like, I'm so hot. Who said that?
Just doesn't matter how good the autographs are at that.
No,
point.
yeah.
The experience ruined 100%. Yeah, I totally get it. Like,
But I have heard like, and this is like it's a thing. Like Disneyland is actually kind of a case study for game design in general.
Yeah.
There's an user experience of just like where they put the lines, like you mentioned, the audio,
Right.
Where they consider like the pure fantasy. Like some people say, like when you boot up a game, it should be from like even the loading screen,
Yeah.
even like all the bullshit should somehow feed into that experience of being like this is your new life now.
that's like
And like
Hideo-
Disneyland takes that to the fucking nth degree,
Absolutely.
and it matters.
I totally agree that like a good example of that is like I always fuck up his name, Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima, yeah.
He did all the Metal Gear and Silent Hills and stuff like that. Well, he did
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Who the fuck did
Not Silent
Silent?
Hill?
I don't know Silent Hill.
Oh, I do, and I'm going to give him credit.
Whether it's true or not.
Just look that up and make sure I'm not an idiot.
I don't think you are.
To the Googles.
Hideo Kojima?
No. Toyama.
Oh, fucking crazy. Okay, well, I was wrong.
First time ever.
Mark it.
First time ever.
Mark it. That would just be a loop. That audio. Well, I was wrong. Fuck. Yeah.
It's my new ringtone.
What is this?
Don't worry, keep going.
Okay, so Hideo Kojima, he has like these super immersive games, but it's exactly that. Like you from the moment, like there's too much of a formula where you put a game in the slot, press power or download it or whatever the fuck, and then you like start. Okay, there's going to be a start select screen, like all that. Like
it changes, by the way. There's numerous people involved in the franchise.
Oh, okay. So that also it's a number of people. But yeah, like that experience is like just so immersive.
Yeah.
It becomes its own experience. It's like this very immersive.
Yeah, Kojima, I think he's the
idea.
one who wrote the treatise specifically on this. It says
Right.
like as soon as they hit like play to like start
That's
the game is like you're responsible for their experience now, kind of thing.
His
Like
gaming philosophy is like, you know, it's very
yeah, it's great.
beautiful, right? It's that's
And I think he's not wrong.
that makes the argument very easily that games are art.
Yeah.
And games can be much bigger than, you know, their surface level ideas. Like if you think about how giant the video game industry is and how many platforms, how many games exist, how many games do really well, how many games are just kind of okay, how many gaming communities completely can take even a small game into like the stratosphere. It's definitely like this weird, it's almost like, honestly, the best way to describe it is probably it's like jazz in the 20s and 30s and 40s. That's the best way.
That's the metaphor.
Yeah. Now hear me out on this. When America invented jazz as it made its way over to I was a friend of the show, Alex Sparling, just walked by there.
Nice.
As jazz
Alex Sparling.
Fuck Alex Sparling. Love that guy. Love that guy. As jazz made its way over to Europe and the UK, it became very clear that it was like this American export. It was very just new, very different. But we're talking about areas of the world that like crafted the music that almost all other music is founded on, right? With classical and Baroque and etc. So if you look at all these, especially the Romantic period in Europe and like France and Russia and all these composers that were coming out of it, they're all like not, I don't want to say derivative, that's too hard of a statement, but they were all variations of this different style of music.
Influenced by.
Right, very formulaic.
Yeah.
So when you have like jazz and big band and swing start coming out, it changes everything. It changes the way people want to go to the clubs. It changes the way people want to go ahead and spend their time with their loved ones. And it creates things like the gramophone, so you can sit at home and listen to music. Like little things like that. Like they're all populated because of this, you know, huge influx and swing of this new genre. To compare it now back to video games have changed the way that people want to spend their time with their loved ones. People have changed their entire lifestyles surrounding video games. People can quote video games as well as popular books or film. You know, like there's enough money and capital involved there now that you can definitely point to it being a significant major motivational point in our culture. So I think if you go back to like Commodore and like the Atari and stuff like that to now, that is a pretty significant chunk of time that is kind of comparable to when jazz first entered. That's my theory.
That's a good theory because, like you said, with the gramophone and people taking it home, that's like when they went from arcades to home systems, and now everybody's like setting up a special room.
Well, I almost feel like that's a byproduct of the technology because as the consoles have emerged to like support these fully immersive experience. Like Mario Brothers was never going to be a fucking like lifestyle, right?
No,
exactly.
Just like you don't do the Charleston when you go to the club now. It's exactly like that. It's exactly the same.
Or the jitter.
But now you get games like what was that mental one that I'm so like out of the loop on?
I'm playing in
like
Mass Effect now. That's got a huge following.
Yeah, Mass Effect is, but there are games out there that you can sink like 1,000 hours into.
Oh yeah,
like any of like the Skyrims or like Overwatch or any of the like.
Well, I mean, also Overwatch is a good example of like the more multiplayer like battle games in the sense where you just like there's no completion. There's simply the next game.
Yes.
Like this is not unusual. This is classic, but it's like these games are getting bigger and bigger hooks into them, and the communities are growing bigger, and there's more of a following around people even just watching people play.
That's
like,
the crazy
and
thing.
wanting to watch people be excellent at games.
Like people are making what, like not millions of dollars, but like Twitch streamers. Like I worked for the girl,
for sure,
quit her full-time job, left to play video games on the internet.
I
does
wish
that for a living.
I
now.
was hot enough to
like
do that.
that's this is a thing that people can do.
I was hanging with someone on the weekend that's a Twitch streamer, and they are in the same position where they just play. And you know, Twitch is kind of like this weird community where it's like, especially for the female streamers, it's this weird like soft core community. Like there's definitely like, you're not allowed to have nudity, you can't have anything like that, but they like,
you got to keep your shirt on.
Yeah, they
dudes
skirt
involved.
the line. Yeah, dudes. Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of just very general.
Yeah.
You know, they skirt the line.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like some sexual undertones.
You got that? Go ahead. Yeah. We got camera issues here. Audio only listeners. Sorry about that. Like you give a fuck.
There's all 20 of you.
See, this is why you guys are smart to just keep it audio.
Well, also because of how we look. That's that's the biggest reason.
I love the idea that somehow that would make it okay for me to do the show. It's like I look like this. Like there's no way I can.
Yeah. Well, you are wearing a tie.
Yeah, that's all you need, man.
I wanted to make sure that every time you guys look back at this video,
you're like, why didn't we wear ties?
That would be great, Dale. If like your next episode, you guys record Outrage Factory, you just showed up in a
suit.
A 3-piece suit.
Yeah,
hey,
that'd be so great. And then Derek's like, "What the fuck is this?" You're like, "I just, I don't know. I don't know.
Want to elevate?
Elevate. I want to sound more serious."
Yeah, it would be like in Cool Runnings when they use the German countdown.
Oh yeah, the bobsled.
And he's like, "What was with that Einstein thing?" And he's just like, "I don't know, man. I just it's like rubbed off of me or something like that." Like, it's hilarious.
But you never really succeed until you embrace yourself.
That's right.
That's the enduring lesson from Cool Runnings.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That, and please work out because heart disease will kill your head coach.
Yeah,
the prime of his life. Absolutely.
And don't cheat.
And don't. Well, you can cheat one time as the head coach.
Because that was his redemption story, right?
Yeah. The moral of the story is you could cheat one time in the Olympics and still somehow, compete the next time. But like that's because it's the Olympics, and you should try harder. Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And with that being said, actually, before we get to that, how about this? I have another thing we can react to. You might just have to Google it really quick. There should be a million articles about it, though. Did you guys hear about Mike Myers' brother and the Sears conflict?
Sounds familiar.
Yes, I'm so happy you haven't heard about this. I'm so happy.
Is this new, or is this kind of old?
Got a couple days ago.
We cover outrage for a living. How do we know?
I know, yeah.
Just
boys,
blindsided.
I specifically curated
Mike
this
Myers
list
won?
to not be part of anything you guys have covered.
This is because he's wearing a tie.
Versus Sears?
Yeah, Sears. Yeah, versus Sears. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay, so as you guys know, Sears Canada has been laying people off left, right, and center for a while. Now, back in 2013, I'll let C-Mart pull this back up on the screen so I can read it properly to you guys. But back in 2013, I think it was 2013, Sears had this very similar size layoff where thousands of people got laid off. They closed a bunch of stores. And Sears, especially in Canada, for everyone listening, is it's a pretty staple. It's huge. There's I think 26,000 employees or something like that. It's pretty big.
Still,
it's a pretty big place. Yeah.
Sears did the Wish Book, right? That was
they used to do, definitely, yeah. And so we're talking about such a major big box store that when they close down a place, it's they're generally anchor tenants for major commercial complexes. So. One of the craziest things in just the weirdness of this world is that Mike Myers, famous comedian, yes, writer and voice and creator of Shrek, amongst Wayne's World and all these other
Austin Powers.
I've never heard of that Austin Powers movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pretty big fella. Yeah. His brother worked at Sears, and so for years they were like, "Hey man, can you get your brother to do something for us? Can you get something to do for us?" And he finally was like, look, okay, it was 2013. They had just done all these layoffs, and they're like, we have the perfect ad. And so this ad that they did was pretty popular. It was mostly online, I think. There's a bit of TV spots. Yeah. So there was an ad where it's just we're not closing, despite what you may have heard, we're not closing. And then like Mike Myers is like, we're not closing. My brother works at Sears. Da, 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 da. Here's my brother. And then it's like Mike Myers' real brother, and like puts his arm around him. It's like, it's this it's very comical, but also, you know, because it's Mike Myers, it's going to be executed well. So that was a popular thing. That was only like 4 years ago. And now, if you'll be so kind as to pull up this article, I would love to read this to you. It took less than 1 minute for nearly...
TheStar.com.
Yeah, which is a very reputable... allegedly. It took less than 1 minute for nearly half of Sears Canada's head office employees in Toronto to be let go before they were shown the door at a meeting in a downtown Metro Convention Centre. Peter Myers, a senior director of planning at Sears Canada, was sitting in the front row. In 2014, I was wrong, I'm off by a year, Myers starred in an amusing commercial with his brother, comedian Mike Myers, that has logged more than 1.8 million views, blah, blah, blah. In the ad, Mike peppers his older brother with questions and rumors about Sears Canada is closing. Peter reassures Mike that's not happening. Now that's in the copy, okay? So hold on. What's this? The same morning, Sears Canada obtained what is this? Temporary protection from creditors, da la la. And so we'll get down to the juice. Here we go.
I like this.
This photo.
The sad.
Can everyone see this photo? This is Mike Myers' brother, by the way. Okay, scroll down a bit. At the convention center. What? Is there more of this? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to go through
Show me I want to hear how they do it. The quote was...
Go up. I saw there was...
yeah, it says... The quote was, it was a rough day. Okay, here we go. So, that all told that morning, 500 of the 1,185 people who worked at Sears Canada's head office in Toronto were let go. That's a massive layoff, man.
That's like half.
That's
50%.
half the staff,
fucking crazy. So... severance issue is not resolved, as well as no benefits. The situation on the heels of long fights and blah, 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 blah. You get to it. But basically what happens is, even though he was in this ad saying that, like, we're not being let go,
suddenly
Mike Myers' brother himself was actually let go in these layoffs.
Ooh.
Now, Sears...
That's got to sting.
What a dumb fucking thing right now. So this is so...
Yeah.
I honestly... How do you sort this out? Because you're fucked. Even what little moral ground you had in like the hearts of the Canadian people, you fucked up big time. This is like one of the worst. Honestly, this is almost as bad of a PR thing as like when you hear, this will go down as like when you heard that Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for like $1 million bucks.
And passed on it.
Yeah, and they're like,
that's a fact.
why would we want your mail order bullshit? And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, it's up to you.
The internet.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
that?
Interestingly, the ad is down.
Of course.
I'm sure it's up somewhere, but it's funny that it's down.
Yeah, the official one's down, but
Sears is fucked either way, right? Like big box
Look at this
retailers
image.
are not gonna.
I'm curious.
My brother works there.
Yeah, that's look at,
happy.
is that can our viewers read that?
Oh yeah.
Can our viewers see that? That is so perfect. Look at that. My brother works here.
They should just cross it out. Worked.
Yeah, I know exactly.
That's tense.
There's a meme army out there for sure. That is so fucking good though. Okay, but look at him.
He looks kind of jolly. I'd like to hang out with Peter.
Yeah, Peter Myers.
He looks like he's about to retire. Anyway.
The
They
crazy
should've
thing
just
is he
kept him on till he retired.
well, he doesn't get severance.
No severance. And also, I saw a blurb about pension.
No pension, no severance, and he's been there
That's
like
so crazy for some of those
18
big
years,
companies
20
that
years.
like that's normally like I don't have a pension coming. Everyone's gonna retire. There's no pension,
yeah,
no matter
worked
where
in
I work.
entertainment. My
Yeah,
life.
like-
I have
but
no
like,
pension coming.
And
I'm
those
not
other,
gonna
they might
retire.
as well be
Yeah.
government jobs. Like
Yeah.
that's how like the pension is kind of part of the thing. That's
Yeah,
why
and
you
they-
work
Yeah.
at those companies for so long.
Don't they all pay into pension as
Yeah.
they're working?
Well, we
So
all pay
some-
into it as well.
some of
there's a
them,
pension fund that's just
yeah.
gone now.
Yeah, some of them though, like I know certain government agencies because I've done a lot of temp work in different agencies. But if you go to certain agencies for about 10 to 11 years, especially in British Columbia here in Canada, if you do 10 to 11 years in certain agencies, that's automatic lock-in for pension.
Nice.
So you could do like 11 years in one agency, 11 years, with like a private that has private pension, and you could be collecting mega checks when you retire, like a couple
Mega
pensions.
checks.
I had one
Well,
job
in
where
theory.
I had job.
Yeah.
Love that
I mean,
pension.
No,
You're
but like
retired.
in theory,
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
had
saying.
a job
Live on $10 a
that
day instead of
after you worked there for 6 months, every hour you worked, $1 went into your pension. So I have about 3 months worth of dollars coming to me when I retire.
Yeah.
I only made it 9 months.
You guys
there.
are high if any of you think you're ever gonna retire. That's just not realistic.
Yeah,
I want to live too hard to retire.
I honestly threw that dream out a long time ago when I was like, "Hey, I want to make rap songs." People were like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, so you start retired?
Yeah,
okay.
they're like, "Oh, so lonely and alone, is it?" They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "That's an interesting option. Why'd you pick that?" Yeah.
No one else chose that.
They're like, "How about a migraine?" Boom, and I was like, "Great, that's set my
here's
day."
all those hangovers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all at once. Here you go. Boom. I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Hey, you
poor
only
choice.
need one hit, and then it'll be played on CanCon for the rest of your life.
That's right. And they can suck my satellite dick.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
That's pretty rude.
Well, it is a vulgar term.
Yes.
It is.
No other way to deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot about though of when I hear about athletes that are just like exiting their industries and they have the plan is to buy like a dealership or a restaurant or something to that effect.
Yeah.
That is like, that is kind of gonna be passe, and in a certain stage here, we're going to have like.
Don't buy a restaurant.
Right, you're gonna have
awful investment.
But
holy fuck! Do you hate money? Buy a restaurant.
I'll tell you what. I read this recently, and it said that a lot of rules that are made up in society are written in the blood of those who fucked up enough to make the rules. You know what I mean?
I'd believe that.
Like the mistakes of these people is what these rules are written in. Something like that. So if you look at how many people have gone broke in the entertainment industry,
Like MC Hammer.
the
best example.
yeah, right. But like those examples
Taylor
are
Swift.
Never.
Taylor Swift is broke?
I'm
No,
just
no.
joking.
Never.
Taylor Swift owns you.
Long running podcast jokes. C-Mart, huge T Swizzle
Yeah.
fan. Big. He likes Tay Tay.
With good reason.
Yeah.
Sure. Right,
Anyway,
yeah.
you were saying.
I like Shake It Off.
Who doesn't?
I guess. That's a good point.
I don't know what the fuck I was saying though.
So you're saying
basically-
paved in the blood of other people.
Yeah, like these mistakes of people. So I think we're actually going to be entering into an era where it's like you're not going to have the super ultra fucking crazy rich guys go totally broke anymore. What you'll have is a number of like marginally successful forever kind of rich people where like it's not the same economy in the 70s and 80s.
No.
Yeah.
When you're a celebrity, the amount of celebrity that were rich and famous, both of those criteria, it was pretty high. But now you can be absolutely fucking famous and be dead broke. You can be ridiculous. Like you could be more
Or be
famous
rich and not famous at all.
Yeah, and that's another too. You could be just the guy walking around and no one has any idea that you
Or
own
the girl.
everything. Yeah. Why you got to get all Gamergate on me?
Just saying.
Throwing fucking
Guy or girl, the person.
your gender neutral.
We could go even
Zazy.
further and go, we can't put a binary term on the
Sure.
person who is
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah, you
The
can't-
creature.
Yeah, yeah.
Ideally a human. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
I saw.
There are
an
rich dogs owned by subsequently rich humans.
Can you look this up? This is an absolute thing I just saw the other day.
Internet
Are
stop.
we going to
Ontario.
go full circle and be able to call these non-binary gender people it's? Like, remember how we weren't allowed to call people it's, and now we can't call them him or her?
I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what.
That's
I'm,
the singular, like,
I like. Here's the.
because you say they now, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We've had a few gender neutral people on this show. I immediately start the show by asking them on camera so that everyone can benefit from this, which is how would you like to be referred to today?
What's your pronoun?
Yeah. And people often refer I've heard just pretend there's an extra me in my pocket and just refer to us as they. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Is that what they use?
Yeah, that
An
was
extra me
that was
in
the
my pocket.
Yeah, have you heard that before?
No,
I like that one.
It's
Yeah.
good.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I've never
Strange.
That was
just from conceptualizing that.
Yeah,
It's odd.
Why
Yeah.
would there be another
Like, what are you
visual,
in
right?
Willow? Do you have a
in your
brownie?
pocket?
right. Yeah. Is that a Willow reference?
Love it.
Wow. Huge Kevin Pollak fans in here.
Oh, man.
Big time.
You all great.
Fucking Willow. Hilarious. But like that gender pronouns are kind of silly. Like, I don't know if you guys follow Jordan Peterson. Have you guys ever listened to him? Jordan Peterson is a university professor in Ontario. I believe he works at a Toronto. I might be wrong with that, but he is one of these people that is just refusing to follow the conforming of gender pronouns and the modern advancement of them. So personally, he speaks to me in some regards because I think as a rational human with an idea of logic and just critical thinking, he makes some very interesting points. He's also very stubborn in some other regards where you can tell that he absolutely has the capacity to maybe make it more of a deal than it is. But at the same time, I mean, he has people, okay, like he does talks, like seminars and things like that. He does these things where he's paid to go to these performances, and there's people an inch from his face with like air horns and screaming. He has hate speech and things like that, because all he's saying is like, look, I don't believe you should be able to tell me what I can refer to your self-identity as. That's it. He's like, I'm not disparaging your ability to do that. You can do anything you like. He's like, but you can't force me by law to call you like that. Like right now,
that's a valid point.
I think that's a valid point, because before any of this debate occurred, any of it, if you look at right now, we all know, say, I'm talking like when everyone was in the closet, and okay, like if you go back a little bit, and you don't have to go too far. Okay.
Oh wait, today you mean?
When
it's like still a stigma.
I mean,
and
like
still painful.
Okay,
for people?
let me timestamp this. Before Will and Grace was on the air. How about that? Okay, so like before Ellen was
that the watershed moment? Like Will and Grace was.
Yeah, I think Ellen coming out. Yeah, Ellen coming out on network TV and. And Will and Grace giving prime time slots and things like that. That like before that, it was like, oh, we have like an eccentric neighbor. And they, and it was really like it was all
tunes. And the term used to be confirmed bachelor.
That's right.
Like in the 70s.
Exactly, and they'd all be wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back to like that period of time, there was no law from us. Like if we just started referring to each other as girls, if I was like Derek Boland, she's the best, you might be personally offended. But for me to say like, if you don't stop calling me that, I'm going to take you to a human rights tri-panel that will absolutely decimate you financially and possibly put you in jail. That sounds rather fucking crazy to me.
It's a little heavy-handed, I think.
But that is the legislative possibility that exists right now in this country, and we're looking at a situation where our intellectuals are like, whoa guys, this is a little bit of a slippery slope, you don't want to get involved in that. That sounds a bit like
but the other side of that exact same slope is like hate speech. When people are doing that,
sure, but what example of what I just provided is hate speech?
When it's intended to be hateful.
Yeah, but
so if you're doing that,
so what though?
But that's a slippery argument, because like if I'm just offended by you not calling me what I want to be called,
right?
Is that hate? Are you inciting hatred against me?
Right.
I might interpret it that way, and then what?
I think we have social mechanics in place that prevent that person from, like, so if I continue to refer to you as a female pronoun, I think we have enough social infrastructure in place that people are like, that guy doesn't have a lot of respect for his fellow person. I think
that guy is shitty.
Yeah, but we have proven that doesn't matter.
We're gonna not let this person advance.
So in the digital age, you can find a million shitty people with toxic views who will support whatever you think, whether it's flat Earth or not using. But the way the world's trending right now also is that like we're sliding towards this like everyone's a minority group of one, and you get to determine.
No, we're sliding deep into conservatism and into dangerous people.
No, that is absolute projection. That is. I couldn't be more in disagreement with that.
But I think.
Wait, hold on. Do you think that because the media...
We're regressing socially.
Hold on. The politics of today are being completely dominated by the headlines of what is perceived as a conservative governor globally in the Trump government. That idea is
no. This is before that.
I don't like. Yeah, but Canada just had like how many years of conservative...
that's just the name of the party, though.
Yeah, conservatism
fiscally,
in Canada is not.
No, I get it. But
we've seen religion come back, like ideas like flat Earth. Like
disagree.
like science is the enemy now. in a large circle of
hold on. Let me unpack that for a second.
Social life.
Maybe it's just me, but as I was stating earlier, I desperately seek out people with opposite views of me all the time because I think this is where like right now I love the fact that C-Mart and I are not eye to eye on this. I love this so much. Okay, so here, let me unpack this for a second.
Okay.
If it is so that the projection that C-Mart just stated, if that is absolutely true, if Chris is correct, then we are regressing as a society, then my view is completely flawed because I feel like it is the opposite of that. I feel like more and more people are aware of that organized religion is possibly the worst thing that's ever happened to our species, and that the advancement of science is the best possible thing that we could look to. Like, I would hate to fucking think that that's the exception and not the rule. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think what C-Mart is referring to is it's an overcorrection from 5 years ago when we went way too progressive for people to handle. Like, we went light speed progressive with the gender pronouns, the safe spaces, everybody has...
That was like eight months ago.
Well, yeah, but
6 days ago,
and then we see Trump come in and everybody slams the door and goes back to be regressive. So I think it's going to even out. It's going to go back a little more to center.
Do you feel like that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, overcorrection might be a good term in the sense of like
I just don't want to attack your position over.
People
and over
are.
again.
I don't know. It's just tough. I think that there is definitely a trend that you didn't see, maybe not in 5, like longer than that ago, of just like open it and like, hey, let's work some stuff. And obviously, we're still like bombing the fuck out of people, and like we're still like,
I was gonna say,
we'll always have that.
We're still crazy assholes, but like I think that socially, like things, like it kind of comes in waves like that, though, right? Like you could point to a point of before like World War II, and you can talk about like Germany and that, and like homosexuality, this thing, and then suddenly conservatism grinds its way back. You got fascism, it goes crazy, and then we went. We kind of found ourselves again, and it's better. And then I'm not saying this is what's happening.
No, that's
what I mean is that
point,
it kind of, and I think we're in one of those like contraction moments where
you could even go on a smaller circle where you think back to like the mid 90s where we had riot girl bands and all this like super feminism, and then that kind of went back
Spice
down
Girls
to
like girl power.
Crazy feminism,
and then misogynist came, like band
peak.
music came back, and then it kind of flips back and forth.
Had rap rock after that. I'm gonna blow everyone's fucking mind here and say you're all right, because what we have socially is both of these groups. So there used to be this like really broad gray area where you might be like, I don't hate gay people, but I'm not one, but I don't.
Yeah, that gray area is so wide.
It was really wide, and now you have a gray area that's like a fucking millimeter, and everyone's spitting out in opposition to each other on like just going to these.
They're consolidating positions. They're entrenching themselves. That is a danger I see.
Absolutely.
Is that people are becoming more and more invested in a really hard line. Wherever they fucking find themselves.
You're right.
Yeah, everybody's
and that's almost crazier.
I completely agree.
Because now you can't have discussions.
Absolutely right.
No.
Like a discussion might as well be not. It's like, why would we might as well just like beat each other's faces into the wall and nothing changes.
Warn me, because I gotta take my glasses off
all the time. With the like, you've had the alt-right movement, and then you have the anti-fascism group, and like every time they're like, fucking Ann Coulter's gonna talk at this event, and all of a sudden they're like throwing down.
Did you see? There's pretty popular YouTubers this weekend where had their asses kicked by a bunch of Antifa members and all they did was wear a T-shirt.
Actually, I didn't see the video, but I was reading the exchange on Twitter.
I'm talking like
what was the
men
T-shirt?
Beating the shit out of women. Like,
oh wow,
yeah,
that is gross.
So Rocket from Russia is a festival of punk music, which is fantastic, and they're doing a 2-day event at Media Club coming up. And the reason I bring this up, real quick segue, is because we're media sponsors for that. We're super excited, but the founder of that festival is Russian Tim. He hosts Rocket from Russia, obviously, which is a punk radio show on CITR here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And Tim is born and raised in Russia, came here. We met in college. We've known each other quite a long time. But he told a story on here on this show, I think one of his first or second appearance or something like that. He told us a story about how Antifa came to be, because fascism post World War II was so looked down upon, as it is now, but like so looked down upon that
not a lot of positive points in fascism.
You can look, but you're not going to get them.
It's a very brief pamphlet.
Sure, yeah. It's like assholes. Oh, yeah.
They're like,
nailed it.
They got to do what they do best, you know? But the idea that, like, you know, there was this group that radicalized around the idea that fuck fascism and became fascists themselves. So now you have this weird, like, because it all came from soccer hooliganism.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have these groups
That's
of people.
not an auspicious start for any group.
Have you ever seen the Vice
We've heard
documentaries
nightmares
on soccer, like on a Ukrainian Russian soccer hooliganism?
No, but
I've heard they like suck each other's eyes out.
Horrific.
Like
shit.
there's a move where they'll grab someone's head and like stick their mouth over their eye and suck it into their mouth and then bite it off. Like
Holy fuck! Google that.
That's a
right
soccer
now.
hooligan.
I don't want to
move.
Google that.
You got to
Google
imagine
that.
we're going to see Canucks
Let's-
fans doing that shit within like two
They
years.
probably
3
have to
years.
win a game first.
Let's get age restricted and Google that right now.
Oh my
Boom.
God.
Yeah.
Shit's getting real.
I just wanted to talk about it. I don't want to see it.
Canucks are one Bo Horvat scratch away from having to do that to each other. Definitely. Yeah.
That's
for sure.
That's going to be a dark few seasons.
Who will they send to the All-Star game without Bo Horvat? I sucked out.
Oh, but yeah, so
95 Trevor Linden.
Yeah.
Sorry. What do you got?
just the Antifa, like it makes it so hard to like look at either of these sides and be like, well, this one's in the right because they're both fucking awful. Like,
Yeah.
I think once you take things to a violent level, you lose the moral high ground. And
Exactly.
I think that there's this weird thing in the left right now where they feel like enough is enough and we're going to hold our ground and I don't care if I have to fight you to do it. And they don't realize that, like, if this was 2002, post 9/11, and you heard a Republican talk like that, you would be like, this guy's a patriot, but he's going a bit too far. He's a little too right.
Yeah.
And you have the same people that are now being attacked 15 years later, and you look at the ideas that they're trying to proliferate, and it's just so fucking gross the way that people are endorsing violence. Like, man, at the end of the day, if your idea is not able to be convincingly said enough or expressed in a way that you can just do so verbally or by action, if you can't do that, and you have to submit to violence to do so, I think that's regressive. That's like the real regression of humanity. I think that's like a gross thing. And you see that a lot from both sides. You see like Trump supporters that are so entrenched in wearing a red hat that like they will fucking fight you to death or on some shit. And did you see actually, you guys did talk about this on your show. This is the one thing I will touch on is, what was the name of the guy from Black Lives Matter with the Planet of the Apes thing?
Oh, DeRay.
Holy fuck. C-Mart, do you know about this? This is so good. You guys did a great breakdown of it. So why don't you just quickly explain who that guy is and what?
Yeah,
why
DeRay McKesson, very famous. I guess he got famous for being an activist, right? Now
he's a Twitter guy now.
He's a Twitter guy, Black Lives Matter activist, but tweeted this picture. It was like a promotional still from the new, what is it, War of the Planet of the Apes?
It's like the latest,
latest incarnation, Planet of the Apes, and a Funko Pop toy that showed this one character named Bad Ape. Bad Ape is the name of it.
Which, by the way, probably came right from the script, so it's not like... Anyway.
Such a badass name.
Yeah.
Bad Ape.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, anyone who made that plastic figure has anything to do with fucking
Hollywood,
that's right?
Or like even
all.
Did the costuming for the fucking like, oh, you're a
So
secret
stupid.
racist. But DeRay figured that they had bit his infamous style because he wears a vest sometimes.
He wears a blue vest, and there's one.
And the character in the movie, the Bad Ape, was also wearing a blue vest.
Yeah.
And
Classic Bad Ape move.
he was just like, he's like, can you believe this shit? Like, look at these
Bad
motherfuckers calling me a bad ape, and like,
See, and that's exactly. You guys made a great point on your show, which is a great show, by the way. People should definitely check out your show and subscribe.
They definitely
Thanks,
should.
bud. I agree.
But you guys made a great point, which is you actually detract from your main overall criticism of real legitimate criticisms when you just kind of cry wolf on a terrible like that that doesn't win anyone over. What he just did there, when he says like, "Oh, look, can you believe that the establishment white power would do that?" It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you have any idea how many hands have to touch something like that before it even gets
made?
So,
like it did not go through this chain of secret clan members to to hit the merchandise.
Oh my
shelves.
God,
it's hard to make toys with those hoods.
But and there is. There's so much shitty like real racism going on.
That's true.
And,
yeah,
like, you're gonna focus on this fucking toy, like why?
Yeah,
and I bet Funko's just like, what?
Exactly. when you have these large bodies and entities like Black Lives Matter or flat earthers or whatever the fuck. Okay,
let's not give them too much credit here.
There's
like, come on,
but like you shook hands
specifically
with a legitimate guy. We went over this earlier. Like you should, but anyway, what I'm saying is like,
so put those in the same sphere.
They're not equivalent. I'm not trying to make them equivalent.
Yeah.
I just wanted everyone to know though that like when you have like these large bodies of people and they are, it's so strange because as they advocate for people to expressively judge them as individuals. They are operating as these large bodies and then become the parody of that which they are attempting to stop. Do you know what I mean? Like, which is it's like so fucking crazy to like if you're like, I'm part of Black Lives Matter. I'm this their values represent mine and everything's fine. And it's just like, oh well, what do you think about this one protester? They swarmed and beat him up and like they took his shoes. Actually, like do they represent your values? No, of course not. Well, they claim to be Black Lives Matter. Here you are throwing your lot in with them. Yeah. Maybe we should just be individuals with common values. Like, can't we just like be that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
ultimately, we would be, but and you see it on both sides because they're also like. A black guy kills a cop or something, and all of a sudden everyone who's critical of Black Lives Matter is like, oh, there goes Black Lives Matter again.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
No, that was just a black dude.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, like white guys that are serial murders. It's like they don't shut down bank loans to all white guys. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's not like this massive like, well, this totally makes sense. That's why we got to control them. It's like
they don't close the doors of Old Navy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, Olive Gardens don't just shut down suddenly.
No more free breadsticks.
The thing I find ironic is all like this is backtracking a bit. Sorry, but I had this point.
Please.
It sounds so smart. I had to bring it up.
I occupy the fuck out of this mic. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
It's ironic how these left wings who are like, these are our values, we're going to fight for them, are coming across as very NRA right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. If you look at the NRA and the way that they have always literally stuck to their guns, obviously. But like, if you look at the way that
I don't get it.
Break down that joke for us, please.
Okay. Much like a frog, when you dissect it, the joke dies. So let me do that now. No. If you look at the way that the NRA has always advanced its agenda, it's always been to the point of like, well, at one point they wave violence, like the threat of violence comes down to it. That's literally what I'm talking about. Like they're like, well, you can try and take our guns from my cold dead hands, like Charlton Heston and shit like that.
Yeah.
If you see that, you're like, oh well, that makes quote unquote the intellectuals that are trying to like maybe push a more civilized version of society, and makes them suddenly back down. They back down immediately because they're like, oh well, that my logic eats itself if I have to fight you to make you more passive and docile. You know what I mean? Like,
and also you have all the guns,
right?
Shit.
Yeah, well, just doing a weapon check here, you would win.
They got that one gun from Charlton Heston.
That's right.
When he died.
Right out of his hand.
Speaking of, have you seen the latest NRA video? They're
no, I have not.
So they did one a few weeks ago that was...
Is it worth checking out?
What was... They did one that
was
basically...
Is there a subtitle version we could throw on the screen?
I don't actually know. There could be. It's on the YouTubes.
I can't see why there wouldn't be. Like, I can't...
Yeah.
You gotta think.
C-Mart to look this up while you...
Their latest one is basically... saying they're advocating for violence against journalists is pretty heavy-handed, but they're definitely... it's all about
what?
Specifically this one Washington Post reporter and how The press is the enemy now. This is the NRA saying this, right?
Wow.
This is official channel?
Yeah, this is official. They made this video.
Okay.
So this is the one they did a few weeks ago, and this one is basically calling them for for them to shoot liberals.
This
Not
chilling
shoot liberals.
This chilling NRA ad calls on its members to save America by fighting liberals. What the fuck?
And then the latest one is the media, and
what the fuck?
like clearly the NRA is doing this to drum up. They need you got to have an enemy to move guns, right?
So this girl, so she's
be-
representing the NRA.
She is conservative commentator Dana Loesch, I think her name is.
Okay.
She,
I know who this is, yeah.
She hosts a podcast and a news show.
Hey, if you scroll down, there's a bit of a transcript there. They use their media to assassinate real news. They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler. They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative. Is that coming from?
This is being said on the
On the video, yeah.
Right. Okay. So all of them march, all make them protest, make them scream racism and sexism, xenophobia, homophobia, to smash windows, burn cars, shut down the interstates. They'll use their excuse. What the fuck?
That's nuts.
The only way we stop this, the only way we save our country and our freedom is to fight this violence of lies with clenched fist of truth. I am the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place. God damn!
So that was the first one. The second one, they just released it like
What do you call it? That's virtue signaling, like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Like,
Jesus
thick.
Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole everyone's like, okay, well, the NRA, like, gun sales have got to be down now that Trump's in power. So they're manufacturing this enemy within American borders, saying liberals and media and the coastal elites and leftists are the enemies now. Take your guns to them. So I think we're going to see some Civil War shit going on.
I love how a year ago there was no such thing as coastal elites, and now they're like, all the people that didn't vote Republican were on the coast, so we'll just kind of point the finger at them, and they're the bad guys now.
It's interesting because I think what happened is a lot of people were brought in, sucked into the hype of like draining the swamp, and now you realize it's like the worst. Like,
it's like what's worse than a swamp?
It couldn't
Put
be
water back in the swamp.
a
We've seen too
landfill.
much.
It couldn't be. Like I don't know.
Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah.
That's what you got now.
It's exactly.
It's not
it.
just alligators.
But you have all these like staunch Trump supporters being like, legitimately being like, hey, no, he's good. He's, anti-establishment. He's making changes. But like anyone with a brain who like looks at his cabinet and the shit that's actually going on, you can't believe that.
Maybe a civil war is what America needs. Do you know how? First of all, I just want to say this. Do you have any
You don't need a civil war, by the way.
fucking idea? Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was like, do you have any fucking idea what would happen to global politics if America entered into a legitimate civil war that destabilized the country?
We don't even know what that would look like. That would be
unprecedented to the fucking max. But
what side would Canada have to be on?
Well,
That's
first
the
of all,
scary part.
I would imagine we'd be like fucking Switzerland or something like that.
We'd have to.
There's no way. First of all, there's way too much.
The weird part is the borders would be strange. Because of expats and stuff like that. Like that would be an interesting scenario because it's an undefended border and it would be a safe haven, depending upon your elite.
It would be like all the NAM draft dodgers who went to the Kootenays.
Like a reverse Vietnam. That's exactly it.
I don't think that's an absurd scenario. That's a video game scenario.
Wait.
There's actually a great comic book that.
Why did I say reverse?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, exactly.
Like reverse Vietnam would mean like Canada would go to America. That's so dumb.
No, it would be like it would just like Vietnam 2.0.
Draft dodging like a motherfucker. Totally.
Or it'd be really quick because whoever controlled the military.
They just annexed
it's
Canada?
like pretty consolidated in terms of like what side they would probably lie on.
Yeah.
It would probably be more like a financial war. There wouldn't even be a shot fired, you'd think. It would be all like people sniping bank accounts, like all the rich.
Maybe.
Would you say coastal elites against the rich Republicans and stuff?
What if you would see the very first ever introduction of absolute class warfare? That's what it would be. It would be private Blackwater armies for the rich versus poorly weaponized militia that are like organized extremely well, but you're fighting like AR-15s and like motherfuckers with Kevlar vests.
I mean, that's happened. There's been popular like
stop signs to your back.
Like peasant revolts are not uncommon.
Dude,
Yeah,
the last.
they don't
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like-
this has happened
Yeah,
in history
like,
before.
They normally don't
not
win,
uncommon.
but
Yeah, you're right about
The
that.
weird
yeah.
thing is, the poor people and the rich people that would use Blackwater would be on the same side.
That's yeah, okay.
So, like, because the people who are, I'm just going to keep using this because I've said it twice. The people who are the coastal elites are
We
the,
just
You mean
introduced
us?
this
You mean
term,
us?
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
are the people who
is this a
would,
talking point from
who
Outrage
would
Factory?
who would never use
That's the name of
Blackwater.
our next episode.
Are gonna fight Blackwater. It's weird because they would have to go against what they believe in to hire militia.
well, mercenaries.
Oh,
Yeah, mercenaries.
No, but like, see, that's
Wait,
the
what's
thing.
the difference between militia?
Militia's like a
local-
citizen
like a ragtag.
army,
Oh,
and
yeah.
mercenaries
So,
are
like,
paid
the Mighty
professional
Ducks
soldiers of fortune.
would be a
Yeah.
militia. The mercenaries would be the team from Iceland.
Excellent
Oh,
definition,
okay.
C-Mart.
Nice.
Professional soldiers of fortune.
Yeah. As opposed to the unprofessional soldiers of fortune.
Excellent. Please call your next episode Bi-Coastal Elite.
This would
Cycle.
make a great video game. I would play that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think...
One thing I think
Oh,
I'm going to
sorry,
cover
go
this
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
So I have a video lined up for you. It's older. It's a couple years old.
Sure, what's this?
I think it's going to be some good levity here.
I just
so-
unlocked Goose Howard. Now, do we need sound for this?
We
What's
could.
Goose
It's
Howard?
okay. It's more just
don't think we have
this.
sound for
It's
this.
fine. It's just this.
Okay, so
duck.
Goose Howard. What is this?
This goose. Just watch what this goose is up
So
to
we
here.
don't get pulled from YouTube here. Here we go.
Oh, I gotta switch to it.
Okay. What's
So this
What's going
goose
on here?
is trying to attack the shit out of this dog,
What the fuck?
and
okay,
so
this
he
goose
just
is on a
tosses
dock,
it. Yeah,
and the goose is attacking a dog.
yeah, and it just really hates this
What
dog.
the hell? This
And so
camera
this-
work needs...
So he's tossing this
Pick it
goose
up.
out of his boat repeatedly, and this goose is just so persistent.
The goose is just trying to jump in the boat the whole time.
Yeah, trying to attack the dog, and he's coming back from this motherfucker.
What's going on here? Does he got lures? He must have like
I don't know.
some kind of bait.
But he just wait. I just when
camera
he
person is making He just tossed
Yeah,
that.
I know.
He tossed that goose. He's like, get.
Wait, when he gets by the neck.
Oh, animal rights be all over that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's self-defense,
anyway,
man.
the video
After the
is long.
7th time he tossed him out.
I know.
Yeah,
I think I might kill that goose.
That-
Jesus.
That
this
goose
what
is just thirsty for the dog.
Can I
You guys
just
are gonna
point
have
out
to
that
edit
like
that out.
Seymour didn't want to end the episode until he wanted to describe a possible goose murder that he wanted to engage in. That's
Fuck that goose
Yeah, I
up.
was like, wait a minute, what are you
Anyway.
talking about? You're like, I just want everyone to know that I would fucking killed that.
If this goose came after my
Stone cold
dog,
goose murder.
I would use my gun.
Jeez, yeah.
Anyway,
What a coastal elite statement, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
Ladies
like
and gentlemen, Outrage Factory is a fantastic podcast. You can
Thank
now
you.
find it on Stitcher as well as SoundCloud. Oh yes, SoundCloud's still a thing.
For the time being.
Yeah.
That's right. We're all going to be podcast immigrants very soon.
Yeah. So if you
across
have
the
a
wherever.
SoundCloud,
Alternative.
yeah, hit us up.
Oh, we'll talk after the show. I got some ideas.
All right.
We could do
Okay.
that. But that being said, how can people follow you online if they want to do so?
We're on Twitter at Outrage Fact Pod. We have a
Personal
Facebook
accounts?
page that's also Outrage Fact Pod.
Yeah.
My personal Twitter account is at herder. Fantastic. 6
Nice.
R's.
I'm,
God.
I'm
Constantly engaging.
I'm
Always.
at Super Dalebot. I post very terrible jokes.
We're alwaysonline.com.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys for having us. It's always
Yeah.
a pleasure.
I would love to have you guys back on very soon. Not 100, not exactly a year later. That would
Yeah.
To the
I'm-
day.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm in.
Yeah, because then we can come on as like a festival and stuff. We can do it like that.
Yeah.
Chris Martin, if people are so inclined, how can they follow you?
I wouldn't do that.
Excellent. And the way we move on at this point is I don't announce next week's guest because we want them to show up. How about that? Oh, and I'd be remiss to say that if you go to floathouse.ca and go ahead and check out their website, you can get 20% off your next float in an isolation tank by using our podcast promo code IIPodcast. That's lowercase I podcast, and that gets you 20% off your next float. What's a float, ladies and gentlemen? Well, a float is simply the best way you can ever spend your time to unlock the mysteries of your mind. Or
Nice.
you can just relax and enjoy the tranquility of the darkness. You know what? I like it because it's like a spa for your mind. I float. We float. You should float. Try it out right now. Use our podcast promo code IIPodcast and get 20% off your next float, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, though, I would really love it if you do so. And you can go to iTunes. You can search us. We're Intergalactic Interviews. We're the only goddamn ones. No, we are not the Beastie Boys. Do not try and follow us or that one song. Please, Mom. I really want you to know. That being said, we really do love you guys so much. Leave reviews. Support Outrage Factory. These guys are my new favorite podcast coming up. They're amazing, super talented. And what else can I say? This was one of my funner times I've had in a long time.
I also had some fun.
Yeah, it was all right.
Funner.
Solid 6. Solid 6.
Solid 6.
Yeah.
Out of 6. Out of 6.
Out of 6.
Yeah, out of 6. Yeah.
Of the deep political conversations I've ever had, this was the least tedious.
I'm happy. I thought we were taking the piss pretty well, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you guys all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.